Welcome everybody. This is Andrew Wilkinson with Interactive Brokers, part of our IBKR campus. And today we're going to be talking to Josh Melunsky from CapitaliseAI, and he's going to be talking about how to apply a strategy or model to historical data to determine its accuracy. I'm just going to put up on the screen now some disclosures just for you to review before we go into the presentation, and then a couple of other pieces of housekeeping. Today's event is being recorded, so if you happen to drop off or get otherwise derailed, you will receive later today, about 2 hours after the end of the event, we will post to you, to your inbox, a link to today's recording. And within the handouts panel of the GoToWebinar chat panel, you'll be able to download Josh's notes for your own personal review. And please ask any questions in the GoToWebinar question panel, and Josh will get to those at the end of the session, and I'll come back to him. So without further ado, I'm going to ask Josh Melunsky if you'd please share your screen and take it away.
Perfect, Andrew, thanks so much. Hi guys, welcome. Thanks so much for joining the session. We really appreciate you taking time out to be here. I hope we're gonna have a good discussion here. Just to start off, my name is Josh. I head up CapitaliseAI's customer service. I'm really excited to be here, and I'll be taking you through this webinar. So again, welcome, and we really appreciate you being here. So today we're going to look at backtesting analysis, applying a strategy or model to historical data to determine its accuracy. So in this webinar, we'll discuss how backtesting can be used to improve and optimize your trading strategies, and we'll delve into the inherent limitations involved with backtesting and discuss why traders still use backtesting for portfolio analysis. We'll look into the goals. We'll also look into the goals that backtesting seeks to accomplish. So we're going to go through some theory first, and I know theory is boring for a lot of people, even myself, but it's important that we understand the limitations and benefits before we dive in and start backtesting. So we'll quickly go through this presentation. Most of you are going to be familiar with what I'm talking about. However, there may be some things you are not, so please hang in there with me while we go through this. And afterwards, I'm going to show you how you can easily create, automate, and backtest your strategies for free, exclusive for IB users using CapitaliseAI. So after this presentation, we're going to be going through some awesome strategies. You don't want to miss out on these strategies. So hang in there. Let's get through these points quickly. Also, traders, during this webinar, I'd like as much participation as possible. So feel free to pop your questions on the chat. Let's have a cool discussion while we go through backtesting. And let's get started straight away. Actually, hold on, let me get my question panel out. Andrew, Ali, are you there? I still don't see the question panel.
One second, Josh. Okay, I think Ali's got it for you.
Okay. Hold on, traders. Just want to get the question panel out so we can go. Let me pop it out quickly. Okay, great. So traders, feel free to pop the questions on. Let's have a cool discussion. As we're going through this, or quickly now, give me a quick yes or no if you've used Capitalize before or you haven't. And let's get moving on. Tan, welcome, thank you. Park, how's it going? Keep the yeses and nos coming, guys, so I know how many of you are using Capitalize, yes or not. Oh, amazing, perfect. We got a lot of traders that are not using Capitalize. Okay, so let's get through this presentation, traders. I'm going to show you how easy it is to test your strategies and then ultimately automate them. So a quick disclosure, and let's move on. So today we're going to be going through 3 important ideas. Okay, we're going to look at what is backtesting, why do we backtest, and limitations of backtesting. All of them have about 3 or 4 points under them to discuss. We'll get into it. and then we'll start testing. Let's move to the next slide. Okay, so first point, what is backtesting? So in a trading strategy or investment strategy, backtesting seeks to estimate the performance of a strategy if it had been deployed during a past period. It's the general method for seeing how well a strategy or model would have done ex post. Backtesting assesses the viability of a trading strategy by discovering how it would play out using historical data. Obviously, if backtesting works, traders and analysts may have the confidence to employ the strategy moving forward. Pretty basic, what is backtesting? Let's get into the next quickly. And the first idea we're going to go on is, why do we backtest? And the first point under that is, prove your strategy works. So through backtesting, you can test multiple strategies across multiple markets. And with that information, you could devise an entirely new profitable trading plan. Backtesting allows you to collect mass amounts of data and information about your strategy within a short time period. Of course, conventionally, it can take several hours to properly backtest a strategy across all relevant markets. However, that time is minimal compared to how long it would have taken to collect that data from live trades. So backtesting historical data allows you to witness how your plan would have theoretically performed had you been trading it live in the past. With this information, you can objectively observe your trading plan or observe whether your trading plan would have been profitable or not. So you should be able to tell roughly within 100 trades whether or not the strategy you plan to use is viable. So if I have a strategy that has reasonable drawdown and a satisfactory return over, let's say, a large sample size of trades, then I know with confidence that it's worth my time to attempt executing it on the live markets. Through testing, we can determine roughly what to expect when your strategy encounters a period of consolidation, or a trending market, or a reversing market, or even a high volatility period. So this can help you improve your future trading decisions. And as traders, we need to take advantage of every opportunity to enhance our edge. Without backtesting, you're essentially trading blind. So number one, prove your strategy works. Let's get on to the next one. Guys, feel free to pop the questions over. Okay, so why backtesting? Two, is to optimize your approach. So through backtesting strategies, you can painlessly determine whether or not a strategy is for you without losing any money in the process. You test a strategy with over, let's say, 100 trades, and it returned 120%. But at one point, the account drew down 30%. You may not want to trade that. But someone else who is more aggressive might like a strategy like that. Or perhaps you find a strategy that returned 60%, but only had a 5% max drawdown. So you decide it's not unreasonable to double your position on there. Or perhaps you find a strategy that works great and almost, excuse me, and you almost feel comfortable trading it. But you notice that it doesn't perform very well during periods of consolidation. This is an issue I had with one of my strategies. It wasn't until I devised conditions to define consolidation and then stopped taking the trades during consolidation periods that the strategy became more profitable for me. And with CapitaliseAI, in a couple minutes, I'm going to show you how you can define those times and automate the trading around it. Before then, my testing results showed promise, but it wasn't good enough. So through backtesting, you can identify its flaws, introduce new filters that increases potential returns and reduce its drawdown. So number two, it's to optimize our approach. Find the best conditions for the strategy. Great. The next idea, the third out of fourth, is create trading ideas. So most strategies that I use personally currently to trade with were not ideas I had formed clearly in my head. I discovered these strategies I use today while I was testing other strategies. Some of those strategies worked, but did not exactly suit my risk appetite. Other strategies didn't work, but by adjusting a few parameters, you can get completely different results. So backtesting is like a mirror to reality. You might have the best trading idea in the world, but if you backtested over 100 trades and it's not profitable, chances are it isn't going to suddenly start working. Likewise, if you come up with a clever idea that you think probably doesn't work, you may surprise yourself to discover through your backtesting that in fact it does. With backtesting, you can come up with an idea, then put it through the grinder. Whatever comes out is what you pay attention to. This feedback loop allows you to tweak, perfect your approach until you find a set of filters or rules, or as we at CapitaliseAI refer to, conditions that work. James, great that you've joined us. Thanks for that question, James. I'm going to get to the questions right after this presentation. Let's keep going, guys. We're doing well. We're going to be testing strategies after this, so you want to be here. So let's click next. And the last reason why we backtest is to gain confidence. So develop sincere confidence. Unless you are a veteran trader with many years of consistently profitable trading under your belt, you need to backtest. Any confidence you have in your strategy is naive without backtesting. Until it has stood the test of fire in live markets, you have absolutely no clue how it's going to perform. So if you start a strategy and you lose 5 trades in a row, is it any surprise that you feel distressed? Absolutely not. You'd be mad if you didn't. If you hadn't, or if you haven't backtested your strategy and your strategy loses 5 trades in a row, then you absolutely should be concerned. Because who's to say it won't lose another 20 trades in a row? However, if you had backtested the strategy yourself over a large sample size and personally witnessed it endure, let's say, 10 losing trades in a row and still come out the other end unscathed and profitable, then losing 5 trades in a row wouldn't bother you very much. Even though the experience would be unpleasant, you'd know full well that you have at least 6 more losing trades to take before you should become genuinely concerned. But the only way you would know it's time to make changes is if you had backtested it in the first place. So don't underestimate the power of backtesting. It is boring. I understand it is monotonous and hardly any trader enjoys doing it, but there are elements to every job, no matter how fun or rewarding, that nobody likes. Success in life requires work, and backtesting is work. And if you do the right work the right way, you'll find your job a lot easier. And I'm going to show you how you can do that in a couple of minutes. Great. So those are the 4 reasons why we backtest: to prove our strategy works, to optimize our strategy, to optimize our approach, to create new trading ideas, and the most important is to gain confidence in your strategies. Great, we're doing awesome with time, guys. Let's move on. We've got limitations next, and understanding limitations is really important for backtesting. And we have 3 important points here to go over. And the first one is data. This requires simulating past conditions with sufficient detail, making one limitation of backtesting the need for detailed historical data. Detailed historical data with real-time market activity. There are millions of messages flowing in from real-time prices, book depth, orders, cancellations, and more. So when performing a backtest, one needs to decide on the granularity of the data set. The more detailed it is, the higher the processing times and costs, whereas fewer data presents the risk of failing to realistically represent the results of your strategy. Pedro, how's it? I'm going to get to your question as well. Thanks for joining the session. So this is really important, traders. You've got to know what data the backtest is using. And we're going to go into this while we look at some strategies on Capitalize and how that plays in. Great. So limitation 1 is data. Limitation 2, important, is market effect. For traders who are trading, smallish sums here and there, market effect would not have much of influence on the strategy. However, obviously larger trades would move the market. So the second limitation is the inability to model strategies that would affect historical prices. When running a backtest simulation, when running our backtest, none of our simulated actions have any effects on the market. Plus, a backtest cannot represent use cases in which our actions would affect market behavior. So it's okay, if we're all trading and, we're buying 10 Tesla, 100 Tesla, 10,000 USD worth of Tesla, or whatever stock it is, the amount of trading going on those stocks, it probably would have a very small effect. But if you're placing really large orders, for instance, a very large short order on one stock, that could change the outcome of where the stock goes straight after that order and how it moves in the future. So obviously, no backtest has an effect on the market. So that's number 3, market effect. And the third limitation is overfitting. So we run the potential of overfitting when we decide on our trading scenario and adjust its parameters. What we might inadvertently do is overfit our criteria to the historical data set at hand. So a possible solution for this, and whenever I'm backtesting, I always run it over a group of assets. And remember, if you're doing this, and we're going to get into this a little bit later, I'm going to show you how you can take strategies and backtest it over groups of assets. It's very important for those groups to remain. So if you're trading tech stocks, run that strategy within tech stocks. And if you want to start using those on banking stocks or automotive stocks, you want to start first backtesting it over a group of that genre. So that's our 3. So the first one is data, the second one is market effect, and the third is overfitting. So as long as we have those limitations in mind, we can backtest and find a profitable strategy. We can prove the strategy works, optimize, create new strategies, and gain confidence. So let's move on. We're doing well for time. We've only got a couple of minutes, and we're going into testing strategies, traders. So let's move on to the next slide. We just got 2 more. We got rules for backtesting. So this is very important. So take into account the broad market trends in the time frame given strategy was tested. For example, if a strategy was only tested from 1999 to 2000, it may not fare well in a bear market. So the second, take into account the universe in which the backtesting occurred, and that's exactly what I was talking about here. If a broad market system is tested with a universe consisting of, let's say, tech stocks, it may fail to do well in different sectors. So as a general rule, if a strategy is targeted, let's say, towards a specific genre of stock, limit that strategy to that universe. Then number 3, determining the optimal position, sizing, and money management. So the average gain-loss statistic combined with the win and loss ratios can be useful for determining optimal position sizing. And money management techniques like the Kelly criterion, something like that. And then the last one, backtesting is not always the most accurate way to gauge the effectiveness of a given trading system. Sometimes a strategy that performed well in the past failed to do well in the present, and we all know this. Past performance is not indicative of future results. So you want to be sure to paper trade the system after it has been successfully backtested before going live with the strategy. And I'm going to show you how you can do all of that. You can backtest, you can simulate, which is very similar to paper trade, and then you can run live. You can automate your trading via Capitalize. One more trade, hang in there, traders. We're going to get to some awesome strategies. Okay, so backtesting accomplishes 3 things. Number 1, it shows if a strategy performs well in periods when it is supposed to, and vice versa. 2, it provides an understanding of how the strategy performs in different markets. And number 3, it produces insights on how the strategy might be improved upon. And that's what we're going to look at now. We're going to look at creating strategies. We're going to look at optimizing strategies, and we're going to actually get those results right now. In a couple of seconds from running these strategies, we're going to pick up the results. So who is Capitalize? So we enable traders like yourselves, some of you with no coding knowledge or experience, to create and automate your trading strategies using freestyle text. Let me show you how easy this is to backtest, simulate, and run live. Great. So traders, give me a second here. Let me get Capitalize up here. Swing some questions through, guys. I'm going to get into the questions now. Let me just sort out my screen here. Okay, great. Traders, let's get straight into it. So for this, I see there's a lot of traders here that have not used Capitalize, which is awesome. And there's a lot of traders that use Capitalize here, which is awesome as well. So just to give the traders here, just bear with me, the traders that use Capitalize, just to give you a quick rundown of Capitalize. This is the interface here for IB users. CapitaliseAI is free of charge. And when you log into CapitaliseAI, we have our chat at the bottom here. You can get me most days of the week here. And on the left-hand menu bar, you can navigate anywhere and everywhere on Capitalize. We're going to go to create strategy because what we're looking to do is obviously backtest strategies. So we're going to go to create new strategy. And let me get to some questions while we are here. Okay, Christian, can we customize an entry exit strategy with Python code? Christian, not yet. It is something we're looking at. It's not in the pipeline yet, but we have a lot of our traders that are asking for this. So stay tuned. It may be coming in the future. Let's get to some more. Pedro, is data more used in backtesting than news to do the analysis? Pedro, with Capitalize, you can use the news data and you can use technical data as well. We'll go through some of this. We'll run some strategies with both of them. Awesome question there. Okay, so Diego, welcome. We're going to use CapitaliseAI to backtest. I'm going to show you now how we can backtest. We're going to create some strategies now. Last question before I get to it. Apurva, can it be used for Indian market? Not at the moment. Traders, you can only trade with stocks that appear on the NYSE. You can trade with currency pairs. However, we're constantly looking to expand. We're a fairly young company in the fintech world, so we will be expanding and introducing more markets as we go, so stay tuned. Guys, I'm going to get back to more questions in a moment. Okay, James, sorry, I saw you were the first. Your question, are the backtests vectorized or event-driven? James, could you elaborate on your question? And while you're elaborating there, guys, let's get into testing strategy. So with Capitalize, you're going to type out your strategy exactly as you think it. And we're going to run a really simple strategy here. We're going to run it with, let's pick a technical indicator. Let's pick Bollinger Band. So we're gonna go, okay, if, let's go zoom, there we are, is below the lower Bollinger Band. And let's use here an hour, and you'll notice that when you select an indicator, you have the parameters on top, and you can adjust them to how, what time frames you're trading and so on. We'll just use here a 1 hour for this example, okay? And let's say of Zoom by at least 1%, then buy 1,000 USD worth of Zoom. Istina, can you select volume as well? My next strategy is going to be with volume. You traders are going to want to see this next strategy I'm running after this. Okay, so let's focus on this for a moment. So if the price of Zoom is below the lower Bollinger Band, we're using a 1 hour of Zoom by at least 1%, then buy 1,000 USD worth of Zoom. You'll notice on Capitalize, the moment you select an asset, you will have a link to trading view here. Just for some reference, you can add indicators, change time frames, and so on. And then we'll click next. You'll see at the top we have a timeline. You can move between the timelines, feel free. So if you get to the exit and you want to move to the entry, no problem, go to the entry, nothing's going to change. So let's go with our exit, and our exit is going to be close position if Zoom is above the middle Bollinger Band, and we'll just use the close, but we're going to use an hour as well by at least 0.25%. So really easy entry, a really easy exit. One condition in each. If the price crosses below, we want to get in, and if the price crosses above, above the middle, we want to exit. And we're going to click next here. Remember, I was telling you, you can simulate, you can backtest, and you can run live. On the confirmation page, you'll choose what to do. So we're going to go to backtest. We're going to backtest this strategy. And on the confirmation page, just before we do that, you can see your entry condition, you can see your exit condition, you can name your strategy as well. We won't do that now, and we're going to go ahead and backtest this. Now, this should backtest within a couple of seconds or 30 seconds or so. Just to take you through this page so you understand what's going on here, this is our beta version. We've just released it very recently, about 5 months ago. For the beta version, it tests 90 days. So this is important, traders. It tests yesterday, 90 days, including weekends. Here you can see we have hits, and a hit is a cycle. It's an entry and an exit. Each strategy needs to go through an entry and an exit before starting the next cycle. You can see here we have a P&L. This is 10.55%. The P&L is gross, so it's exclusive of trading fees or anything like this, or like that rather. You have run live, and then you have your control panel here. I'm going to come back to the control panel in a moment. Let's just go through this page quickly. Here you have your entry condition and you have your exit condition. Here you have your hit chart. So this shows every time your strategy would have taken a trade. If you move your mouse pointer over a bar, you can see that this, for instance, was hit 6, i.e. it was trade 6. The return was 5.93%. The P&L was 56.04. You can also see the min P&L and the max P&L that the trade reached during the time it was active. Now, if you want some more information on this hit, you could just go to the right-hand side, and you can see our control panel here, our notification panel here rather. And if you scroll down, you'll see there's hit 7, there's hit 7, here's hit 6. It's ascending, so the entry is always at the bottom. So here we have entry of hit 6. You can see this happened on March 5th, 11:28. I'm on Eastern time on my side. And you can see that the exit would have occurred on March 9th at 10:17 a.m. You can see in these cards that for the entry, the units were 3 units that we got. And the execution price, $315.11. You can also see the exit execution price. And guys, while we're going through this, pop me your questions. Oh, one more thing, you have your winning and losing ratio below that. And without further ado, let's get into our next strategy. So it's really that easy to test strategies on Capitalize. So we're going to go and now run another strategy, and we're actually going to do this strategy with volume. So actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's try and get a better result. Let's try to optimize this. Remember, we were speaking about backtesting. We're speaking about how to optimize our strategies, and that's what we're going to do now. And the way we're going to optimize it is you're either going to tweak the entry or you're going to tweak the exit. So let's go ahead and tweak the exit. So the way we're going to do this is you're going to click on the control panel. You're going to select clone. Clone's a simple copy and paste. And it's going to bring the strategy up on the create strategy page. And we're going to keep the entry as is. We're going to click next. And we're going to change the exit. This time, instead of using the indicator itself, we're just going to go close position at trailing stop of, let's say 2%. Very simple. It's going to trail from the highest point it reaches. We're going to click next, and we're going to click backtest. Not only that, we're going to try another exit on this. So it's very quickly to try a lot of exits on one strategy to see where the optimum point is. So we can try this, let's just say, for example, 5% backtest. Okay, so once we've got these running, you don't have to stay on the page. You feel free to move about and create more strategies. These will run in the background. And where are we going to find these? In the left-hand menu bar, we're going to find them under My Strategies. Once you go to My Strategies, you're going to see all your live strategies, you're going to see your strategies, and you're going to see your backtest. Okay, and we're going to go to backtest. That's what we're doing here. And these are the three we had here. We started with this one, with just the Bollinger moving around. 7 hits at 10.55% P&L gross. The next one we tried at a trailing stop of 2%, sorry. And we got 25 hits at 31.91%. And then with a trade, oh, we actually managed to better it. Okay, so we got 15 hits here with 33.71%. Just because we bettered it by 2% does not mean perhaps, you may want to go for the 5% trading instead of the 2%. And everyone's risk appetite is different. And this is an easy way for you traders to test out different exits on your strategies and see what they would have produced. And then once you find an optimal, let's say, strategy that works on perhaps your favorite stock, you can start testing that over different stocks. And I'm going to show you how you can do that in a moment. Let's see, we're getting some more questions here. Okay, Christian, how does it size the order when you put USD worth of stock? Great question there. It will round down. So if you have 10,000, if we bought 1,000 USD worth of Zoom, and the price of Zoom is at, let's just have a look, about 320, it'll buy three shares. Yeah, it's there. And it won't exactly be 1,000. We'll always round it down. Good question there. Let's see here. Okay, Daniel, when optimizing, can you just choose a parameter to vary so CapitaliseAI finds optimal solution? No, I wish now. We're not there yet. That would be amazing, but not there. You're going to have to decide, okay, I like closing positions with a 2% trailing stop, a 5% trailing stop, a take profit of 2%, a stop loss of 2%, or something like that, and then just test it around. That's a really cool idea, though. Okay, so traders, let's get into the next strategy. Let's see here. Okay, one more question. Pablo, how far in time can I backtest? What is the granularity of data? Is it dividend adjusted? Is it survivorship bias free? Okay, so wow, there's a lot of questions to pack in there. So at the moment now, you can backtest for 90 days. So that's yesterday, 90 days previous, including weekends. It's important to stress this is our beta version, traders. We are planning, hopefully in a next version or two, we're hoping to bring time adjusted backtest. So you're going to be able to choose the time in which you want to backtest your strategies in. The granularity of the data, good question, because I wanted to speak about it and I totally slipped my mind. We're using 1 minute historical data here, traders. So we're taking the prices each minute, which is very different to when you simulate a trade with Capitalize. If you're simulating a trade with Capitalize, we're using live tick data updated multiple times a second. So yeah, we're using 1 minute data for our backtests. Let's see, it's not dividend adjusted either, Pablo. Okay, great. Let's get moving to our next strategy, traders. We've got a few strategies to run yet. So we ended up actually, bettering our strategies there. We went from, I think it was 15% to 33%, if I'm not mistaken. So we managed to get a good, we managed to optimize it quite well there just by changing the exit. Let's move on to our next strategy. And our next strategy, we're going to involve volume and we're going to involve the ATR. Okay, so, let's go with, so let's say like this. If Google, and we'll go with a 3x5 minute bar, change. So if we have 3x5 minute bars change, that is, let's say, negative. And if Google, let's say 1 minute volume is greater than Google, let's say 20-minute volume, or let's say 20-minute average volume rather. And let's say, and if the let's say 1 minute ATR of Google is greater, let's say by more than 300% from the, and let's use a 10 by 1 minute bar ATR. So it's really easy with Capitalize. You type it out exactly as you'd say it. And I'm going to use an offset here. And if for you traders who are new to Capitalize, don't worry, you can find offset videos on YouTube. Check them out. It's just a way to historically define certain positions of where bars or indicators are. Then by 10 Google. Great, so we're going to say here, if Google 3x5 minute bar change is negative, so if we have 3 negative bars, and if the 1 minute volume is greater than the 20-minute average volume, and if the 1 minute ATR of Google is greater by more than 300% from the 10 by 1 minute bar ATR of Google with an offset of 1 bars. And all I'm doing there is I'm taking that 10 by 1 minute bar and just moving it 1 position back on the price chart. I'm not going to get into it right now, but you can check some videos out of that. So let's see how the strategy runs, and let's go with a profit or loss here. So let's go close position at profit of 6%, or loss is let's go with 2%. So we've got the entry, we've got a very basic exit, we're going to take profit or we want a stop loss, and we're going to click next. And we're going to backtest this. And again, remember traders, you don't have to stay here. We want to try and optimize a strategy. And the best way to do it is to try just different exits. So let's try and get better results from here. and let's quickly clone. Remember, to optimize or to create this exact same strategy, just clone it. So we'll clone, and excuse me, let's leave the entry as is, and let's change the exit. Let's change the exit to close position. Oh, let me get my syntax right. Close position at profit of, or let's do a trailing stop this one, at trailing stop of, let's say 5%. Okay, and let's backtest. And remember, you don't have to stay on here. You can just clone it. It will run in the background. Traders, I see a lot of questions coming through. I'm going to try and get to them. It's just I've got a few more strategies I want to get to, and we need to try optimize this. So let's go close position at profit of 2% or loss is 2%. And we'll click next and backtest. So we've run 3 really quickly in like a minute or 2 of the same entry, just a different exit. And remember, go to your My Strategies page and you can see your strategies backtesting there. And we'll just go to backtest. And here are the 3 that we chose. So we've got, the first one gave us, okay, so 6 hits at 5.94%. We went a little bit up, well, we went, oh, these are actually still running. So let's keep them going while they're running. Let me get to some questions quickly. Okay. Debabrata, excuse my pronunciation. Could I use this tool to trigger trades, buy or sell directly? Can I strategize triggering day trading conditions? Does it have this option? Yes, it does. While these are running, traders, let me show you what live strategies look like on Capitalize. Awesome question there. So once you've backtested this strategy, you'll notice that you can clone the strategy as we did, and you can simulate or run live. So we can, I just want this to finish quickly. There we are. Okay, so we actually managed to go up again. So we went from 5.94% up to 12.17% and up to 16.23%. I like that. That has a nice sample size for 3 months. Probably with day trading, you can get much bigger sample size, but we managed to optimize that the strategy just by changing the exits. Great. Let me quickly show you, traders, how you can automate your trading. So remember that on the confirmation page, if you click clone, let's say you like this strategy. If you click clone, it'll bring the strategy up. You can click next, next, and on the confirmation page, you can backtest, which we just did. You can simulate, which is exactly like paper trading. It's going to trigger, it's going to keep the data, it's going to show you where the wins and losses are, but it's not going to trigger any trades from your account. If you run this live, it will trigger trades through your account automatically. Every time your triggers are met, it will enter the market. Every time your triggers, your exit conditions are met, it'll trigger via your IB account. And if I go back to my strategies, we can actually see some live strategies here. And here we can go to, which is the one I've just tested here that I've been running now for a while. I've been running this for the past month and a bit. You can see here, I've got 18 hits. The P&L is at 10.77. And you can see that here are the hit charts. So this is on loop, you can see. You can have a once-off strategy as well, which will only trigger once. But if it's in loop, every time your exit condition is met, it'll start looking for the next entry and so on. It'll continue to loop. Something you can have here is a total stop loss. You can see here, I have a minus $1,000 on here. So minus $1,000. If this strategy hits minus $1,000, it's going to stop the strategy. It's going to stop looping. You'll be notified of that as well. Great, traders, we are running out of time. We need to move on here. Let me show you how to test a strategy over a group of stocks. Okay, so Let's quickly move on to the next track. Traders, I'm sorry, I see a lot of questions coming in. I hope there's going to be time. I just want to get through this one strategy, so when you traders start using it, you know how to test it over a group of stocks. So let's have a look here. Where am I here? Oh, there we are. I've got it there. Okay, so let's test a simple strategy. We've done one with an indicator. We've done one with volume and ADR. Let's do a very simple one. Just a current day open above a previous day close. So let's go, okay, if SOXL current, oh, let me get my syntax right there. Current day open is above SOXL previous day close by at least 2%, then by 1,000 USD worth of SOXL. Okay, great. So we're just taking a very simple asset and we're saying if the current day open is above the previous day close by 2%, then let's get into the market with 1,000 USD. We'll click next and let's do this one really simple. Let's say close position at the end of the day. Last time you can close a position with Capitalize is 15:59 US Eastern Time. Okay, and we're going to click next. And we're going to backtest this. And now while this is backtesting this, we're going to want to run it over a group of stocks. So let's start. Now this is easy. We're just going to go back to clone. It's going to bring up the strategy. Any word that appears in bold, you can change with a click of a mouse. So you can change this, for instance, to TQQ, and this to TQQ, and that to TQQ. And you're done. You click next, and you can backtest. I'm going to try, let's just test this over another 3 or 4, and let's try to do it in a minute. So clone. And once we clone it, we're going to go AMD. And it's just 3 changes there. Once you get the hang of it, this becomes really quickly, becomes really easy and quick to do. Let's go back to clone. Here, NVDA. Okay, and let's change that. Okay, and how are we looking for time? Well, we have to move, traders. Don't know if I'll even get my last strategy in here. Okay, we backtested there. And then let's try 2 more, see if we can see what it looks like over these stocks. Let's go for, I don't know, SQ. And here. So it's just click the asset and change it. Backtest, and let's do 1 more. I think that was done in 2 minutes, maybe 3 if I'm not mistaken. Maybe 2, I think. So we've tested it over quite a large group of stocks. And 1 more. Okay, so we've just run it there 5 or 6 or something like that. And you saw, you don't have to stay on the page, just feel free to keep creating these strategies and you'll find them in the My Strategies page. Okay, so let's see, I had actually 2 more strategies, but I don't know if I'll be able to run now. There will be 2 that I want to show you, but I think I'm running out of time. Let's go to backtest. And here's the strategy that we've actually run over. So we started with here SOXL, 39 hits over 30 and 32%. We got here with TQQ 36. We got 7 on AMD, 15. Oh, okay. So NVIDIA is still running. SQ is completed. That got 14 on 17 hits. 14% on 17 hits, and then 7 hits on 15.4%. So that's an easy way for you traders to take these strategies, quickly optimize them, create them really easy, just like typing, just like typing out in Word. You're going to type it into Capitalize. Remember, once you find something you like here, like for instance, let's say, okay, I like this strategy, SOXL. You can go clone, and we can start simulating this. So it's not going to, it's forward testing. So we can go next, and then we can go simulate. And once it simulates, you're going to find it under live strategies. You can see here, simulate. It's waiting for data to come in. Data should come in shortly. And anytime this condition is met, it's going to trigger the trade. It's going to trigger a trade on Capitalize, not going to trigger a trade via your IB account, because we're in simulate. Only if you're running live will it trigger a trade via your IB account. Should have picked up data already. Let's just go to the My Strategies page and then just see it there. I'll just show you where it is. We'll click into it. It should have received by then. So there it is. This is the strategy we just created to simulate. You can see it's working on the entry. If we click onto it, oh, it's still waiting for data. That's funny. Wait, okay, it should start in a minute or so. Great. So one more. Let's test one more strategy. That do we have time? Yeah, we have time. Okay, so one thing you can do with Capitalize, or another thing you can do with Capitalize is you can use multiple indicators in one strategy. For example, here you can see here I'm using MACD line day crossing above the signal line. Then the 4-hour must cross above the signal line, and then the 30-minute must cross above the signal line. We can actually go ahead and backtest the strategy, and even if your strategies are running live, you can still backtest them quite easily just by cloning it and running the backtest. You have your whole trading plan here, whether you want to simulate backtest or trigger trades automatically via your IB account. Traders, I think I am running out of time. Let me get to some questions. Oh, if I don't get to your question now, for those traders who have questions here, we have the in-app chat here. I see a lot of familiar names here, so you guys have chatted with me often. Feel free to send me messages here, traders. And if you don't have an account yet, don't worry. You can subscribe to Capitalize via your IB portal. Just find us under Research Subscriptions. It's free of charge. Your account is activated within, I think, 24 hours. And you can start simulating and backtesting strategies. If you want to connect your account, your IB trading account, you just have to fill out a form on the Capitalize platform under Connect Trading Accounts, and you can then start triggering trades. If you, for you traders who need something urgently before your account is set up, who don't use Capitalize, get us at support.capitalize.ai. We have the in-app chat here, and send me a message. Let me know, if you're looking for, let me know of queries or whatever you may have, whatever you need. You can find us here, so you don't have to have the interface. You could actually also go to just interactivebrokers.capitalize.ai. Even on the login page, you can still actually see the in-app chat. So feel free to contact me there. Let's see if I can get through some questions now. Let's look at what we got. Okay, Gen, this is a question that all traders ask. I get this question many times a day. Will this handle options? Traders, not right now. We know that traders are looking for options. I don't want to overpromise, but we're in the early stages of looking at development of futures, and options will come after that. So you'll be able to trade options, trade futures with Capitalize. Let's see here what other questions we got here. Okay, let's see here. Okay, John, you got a cool question. Is it possible to run a strategy over a basket of assets? Okay, so John, not at the moment. The only thing to do right now is like how I did it, just to clone it and do it. I understand it is a bit painful, but we're working on it. Very soon, you'll be able to group the assets you normally trade with, whether it's currency pairs or stocks and so on. You'll be able to take a strategy like, if the price of that asset crosses below the lower Bollinger Band, then I want to get in, and if it moves above the middle, then I want to get out. You're going to be able to just run it with a click of a mouse through there. It's still in development, so not at the moment, but it will be on the way. Christian, can you do ATR trail for an exit strategy? Not at the moment. So we know a lot of traders want to reference the ATR for a stop loss, take profit, something like that. We're working on it. We'll have it soon up. So stay tuned. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, Nicholas, let's just see. Oh, you know what, Nicholas, this is actually a good idea for all you new traders here. With Capitalize, you don't only have to enact a buy or a sell, you could enact a notify me. So Nick, yeah, I mean, you could take a strategy like that, and instead of executing it as a buy or a sell, you could just execute it as a notify me, which means that you'll get notification on your email. If you've downloaded our mobile app, you can just switch on notifications there, and you'll just get notifications of when trades are going in, when trades are going out. For you traders who have not downloaded our app, you should check out our app. We've got great functionality on there, exactly the same as the interface, and it can be with you anywhere and everywhere. So Nick, yeah, you can notify. Let's just see. Okay, so traders, I think that's let's just, I've got some more coming through actually. Let me not stop it straight away. And okay, and I just mentioned now with options that futures are on the way. We're in the early development of it, so you will be getting it soon. About day trading, Debarbrita, that goes according to IB's regulations, so I'm not too sure. I'm not sure on what it is. If my recollection is correct, I think the account balance is above 25K, and you should be fine. But I would double check that. Don't quote me on that just yet. Great, traders. I think that's all from me today. I just want to thank you from myself and the CapitaliseAI team. We really appreciate you being out here and joining us for the session. We know your time is valuable, so thank you. Get me on chat if you have any queries. Keep us updated. We love feedback, and good luck trading for this week and the weeks to come, and have an awesome day and week ahead.
Josh, thank you very much. That was a brilliant presentation. You handled a lot of that very smoothly, very quickly. You got to a lot of questions. I will send you any outstanding questions after the session for you to get back to individuals who asked good questions to you. And look out for the recording link in your inbox later on, folks, if you want to watch this. Josh, do you want me to post this to the IBKR YouTube channel later today or not?
Yeah, please. Can you, Andrew, can you send me the link so I can just get it onto our social platforms?
That would be wonderful. Let's do that. And Josh, will you come back and educate the audience again, please?
Oh, I'd love to, definitely.
Great. Okay, thanks everybody for attending. And Josh Melunsky from CapitaliseAI, thanks so much for spending an hour with us today.
Pleasure. Thanks, guys.
All right, bye everybody.
Please be aware of the time.